Hey guys, it's Sam here. Welcome back to the channel. Today's just gonna be talking head about me and my experience at both the Day6 concerts in LA at this point, a week and a half ago. First and foremost, I had a great time. Like both nights were like a party effectively because Day6 obviously being a band versus just an idol group. It had a different atmosphere both nights. I think part of that's just because it was Day6 as well. Like even they were saying, I think the last time that they were stateside or even in LA was like 5 years and change. So it had been a long time coming. I know the first night I went with some friends. We had great seats as far as like just the layout of the venue where we were sat at was just a really cool area. More than anything else, day two I was a little bit closer. And I sat next to two girls who came from Arizona, and they had been in Day6 since like 2018. They said so. Obviously, before I ever got into Day6, because you can go look up whenever my first video on Day6 was 2021, I think it was. So although I've been in Day6 for a little while, and I know I don't have everything reacted to on the channel because there was that time where I took a break. But I've got almost everything. I know I missed the second the second Young K solo album, and then their comeback with just the four boys before the newest album, Band-Aid. But anyways, Bob album is up. If you haven't seen that, there are some audio issues that I was unaware of at the time of recording. But anyways, back to the concerts, man. They were just a great vibe all the way throughout. And I will say that it was the most Korean crowd for any of the concerts that I've ever been to than anything else. And that's not, but what I mean by that is like any other group that I've gone to see has definitely been a little bit more of a diverse crowd. There was still some diversity, don't get me wrong, but there was definitely a lot more. Like I'm old, right? Like I'm older, especially for a lot of this. There was people older, like there was like grandma age style people going. And first, I love to see it. I hope that I'm still doing concerts when I get that old, because I feel like I just love music so much that like you gotta keep going to concerts. I even know, like when I went to Suga's concert a year and a half ago, whatever the hell it was, there was a grandma on the floor with us having a grand time. Like I talked to her, she was in her mid-70s. She was having a great time. That's how it was with Day6 though. Everybody was having a great time. Everybody was jumping up literally almost the entire set, obviously minus a couple songs here and there. Young K was like, hey guys, y'all can sit down. Everybody's like, no. He's like, okay, just suggesting y'all can sit down. Everybody's like, no. You know, like we literally stood and rocked out and had a great time pretty much both nights the whole time. So I've got the set list in front of me. Obviously, we all know all of these songs are bangers. There's one song I didn't get that I was really hoping I would get, and I heard they played it in New York, and I'll do that at the end. Just small spoiler as far as set list goes. No subunit songs, no solo songs. I wasn't expecting any, but I wouldn't have been shocked if they each maybe did like one or something like that. But they didn't. It was all just Day6 stuff. Starting off with Best Part, Better, Healer, Time of Our Life. That was the first four. And, obviously when Time of Our Life comes on, granted, any song comes on, everybody's having a great time. Everybody is singing. This is the most singing I've ever heard at any fucking concert I've ever been to as far as K-pop-ish oriented. And granted, I don't know all the words, especially the correct pronunciations, but I at least know the melody and where I'm supposed to be effectively, and that's where I was for some of the stuff. But there was parts where they weren't singing and letting the crowd sing. And again, when I was talking about it was the most Korean crowd that I've seen at a show, they were singing and they were confident as fuck, and for me it just put a smile on my face. I was like, fuck yeah, this is awesome, more than anything else. But Best Part, Better, Healer, and then obviously Time of Our Life comes on and everybody's going nuts, right? Excuse me, allergies in Texas right now are killing me. Then, that's when we kind of slow it down quote unquote slow it down with She Smiled, How to Love, Pouring, and then they picked it back up with Say Wow. I do gotta say, the boys had a great time. There was a little bit, like the backtrack was there. More than anything was like some of like their harmonies for the backtrack. They still did some live, but it was like the harmonies on the backtrack, and it was a lot of some of like the secondary synth from Wampil, as well as like drum machine tracks, parts for Dowoon, even though he had his regular drum set, and then he also had like a little his drum machine for certain parts and whatnot. But there wasn't a lot in the backtrack itself. There was a little bit of bass in the backtrack. But it was, I mean, Young K was still playing. I do feel that this is just my own personal opinion. I understand why they probably don't do it, but I do feel that if they would hire a second guitar player, even if they're just off stage or, off to the back and to the side, I think that would help Phil, because obviously all of their stuff has two guitarists minus the newer stuff. And even then, those albums probably have layered guitars. Like, they do have layered guitars. And I feel like that would have just helped feel it up a little bit more, if that makes sense from a live standpoint. And that's something my buddy, when he went with me on first night, he didn't really know a ton of Day6. He was just coming to vibe, and he had a great time. And afterwards, the next day he was like, oh, I listened to some of the older stuff. And he's like, I really think that second guitar would have done, wonders. He's like, not that Sunjin didn't do his thing, but it definitely, and I'm not saying it's got to be, I'm not going to say Jay or anything like that, but just having a second person there to do those extra layers of sound, I think would have helped. Now, if they don't want to, fine. It is what it is, but there's a lot of even quote-unquote normal bands that will do that they'll have extra musicians, because in a live setting, it just helps give that wall of sound effectively more than anything else. But where do we leave off on the set list? Say Wow, Into You Were Beautiful, I Loved You, Letting Go, Congratulations. Everybody went crazy when they did Congratulations. Obviously, we get Young K, rapping and whatnot, and How Can I Say, I Wait, Love Me, Leave Me, and then it goes into Shoot Me. Shoot Me is great. I think right before Shoot Me, I think is when they did their little mints of talking about hey, we haven't been here a while. How's everybody doing tonight? Bob, of course, they hope everybody eats well. Bob and food is, come on, Playing though, I've got to say, Bob Sunjin, he cannot hide any emotions on his face. And I mean that in the best way. This dude is fucking funny when he's playing. If he, there was a couple times he hit a little bit of wrong note here and there, and his face would be and then you would look at Dowoon would be laughing his ass off. He even called him out. It was they were doing the encore day 2, and he hit something wrong or whatever, and he's like, nice chord, Hyung, or whatever, and Bob's looking back at him like, really, you gonna call me out, dude? Dowoon has the time of his life playing drums. That dude, he's going all out the whole time, and he could not be happier. He could not be happier. And it was just great to watch him, and especially towards the end when he doesn't necessarily have to sing. Granted, we all know our boy Dowoon doesn't sing a ton, but when he does, we all love it because it's fucking great. But towards the end, anytime it was fan chant stuff, he's screaming in his mic with all the fans. He's having literally the time of his life. I could not get enough of Dowoon live. That man, it's one of those things, I want to say a kid, but he's not a kid. He's what, 28, 29 now? But he literally having the time of his life playing drums for my days, He was having a great time, and you could see it. He was just living his best life. Wampil was great as well. Young K was really funny too. Anytime that he would try to talk, anytime he was talking was super funny. Obviously, he's the best English out of all of them. Wampil's English was probably the worst, but he would try to say stuff, and then they'd go to translation. Super funny. Bob, I've just got more love for Bob after the shows. I already knew, especially knowing that, he took hiatus for anxiety and stuff like that, and then just to see him be out front in the middle of the boys, obviously being their leader, and literally just having a great time. Having a great time playing, singing, and being able to joke, you know, with my days along the way and stuff. And his facial expressions though were too good. His facial expressions too fucking good, man. But after congratulations, how can I say? I Wait, Love Me. Oh no, I already got there. Shoot Me was great. Into Monster, and they talked about Monster, how it's, you know, when you really look at the lyrics of the song, and you know, it's how it's about everybody has a monster inside them, and sometimes that monster just needs to be, you know, left alone or even sometimes helped, and how it was more like sometimes you feel like you're a monster and you just kind of push yourself away and off to the side instead of going and getting help from friends and family and stuff like that. Zombie was after that. I have one complaint with Zombie, and it's not from the boys, it's from production. So their video stuff that they had behind them, they had Zombie all the lyrics. They had all the English lyrics, which is great, but it was literally like the English lyrics, not the translation, but the actual English version. And I was like, what the fuck are we doing here, man? That was my one big complaint with production, effectively. It was on that. I was like, I don't understand why they're... Because on other songs, they were just putting the Korean characters and stuff, you know, Hangul. But this one, they literally put the English lyrics, but it was for the English version, which I just thought was super weird and didn't... I mean, it's whatever, it's Zombie, right? But I was like, I don't get it. They did Meltdown. Happy was awesome. Everybody was literally having a great time during Happy. Jumping up and down, having the time of our life effectively. Into Wish, Help Me Rock and Roll, Shitty Game. Dance was literally a party. Literally a party. I feel like Dance could have gone on for 30 minutes of only Dance, and nobody would have cared. Everybody had a great time. Into Freely, and then that's when they stopped. They did their ending mints. Day 2, they had a video of like some US My Day and stuff that the people who are actually a few seats down from me, she runs an Instagram for My Day and stuff. I probably should have got it, but I don't really fuck with Instagram. I'm old. I don't really fuck with social media as a whole. But they had a little video that they played for them and stuff, and that was really cool. And then Encore, we did My Day. First time, Welcome to the Show, which I thought was really weird to play that for the Encore as basically almost the end. And then they finished with Best Part again. But Welcome to the Show, we got Welcome to the Show in Soundcheck Day 2 as well as the first song. But I thought, I mean, it's literally called Welcome to the Show. Why wouldn't y'all do that at the beginning of the set? That's my one gripe with the boys. I don't know if they picked the set list and how that works, but it's literally called Welcome to the Show, not, hey, we're almost done, let's play this song. That's my one complaint with the set list as far as what the songs we actually got, the order they were in. The one song I'm mad I didn't get was Sweet Chaos, man. I was so ready for Sweet Chaos and to just let loose, and I didn't get it. That's the one song I was mad that I didn't get. I heard they got it in New York. I think I saw something on Twitter that they got it in New York, so that makes me a little bit jealous and sad that I didn't go to the New York show, but I couldn't make all the days work with work and stuff, and I was just happy I was able to, just go one day, let alone get tickets for both days for LA. But yeah, not getting Sweet Chaos was I was a little mad about that one, I'm not gonna lie. That's the one that I was like, we didn't get Sweet Chaos? Like, what the fuck, man? I knew we weren't gonna get Japanese stuff because nobody ever plays Japanese stuff. I know twice we got Donut at SoFi, and me and my friends were fucking crazy for that, but like, Japanese releases are so good, and if we would have got anything from the Japanese album, I would have probably lost my shit, but I knew it wasn't gonna happen, so I wasn't expecting it at all. But I was expecting Sweet Chaos. Like, what the hell? How did we not get Sweet Chaos? That's my one big gripe with the show, was I didn't get Sweet Chaos, and that's just a personal thing. There is one song I'm glad didn't get played, and that's, I think y'all all know, I'll Try. I would have fucking teared like crazy if they would have played that live. I would have lost my shit. It's one of those things at some point, I know they're They kept saying we'll come back soon, we'll come back soon. And I know as of me recording this, I think I saw something that they're gonna have a digital single coming out in the next 2 to 3 weeks or something like that. So maybe they're working on another mini EP, and maybe they come back at quarter 3, quarter 4 of the year, and I'll get another chance. But it's one of those things like there's a couple songs that from every group, no matter what genre of music, that you want to hear live, even though it's not part of their like normal routine set list anymore. And I'm sure I'll Try is probably one of those songs that they'll probably never play live again, theoretically. If they ever do, I hope I'm there for it, so I can literally bawl like a baby. That song for me with like Twice is 1 in a million. If I ever get 1 in a million live, I will lose my shit and bawl like a baby. But nonetheless, with the boys in Day6, man, vocals live amazing, playing live great. Bob's rasp live is not quite bone chilling of like that, just like ooh feeling, but it's pretty close. His voice live is so fucking powerful, it's ridiculous. Wampil's voice sounds incredible live. I mean, like, it's crazy how much they sound just like the album, and I'm not that surprised by that, but like, it's like, holy shit, these guys are real, It's like the same thing when I saw other groups for the first time. It's like, holy shit, they're real, like, what the hell. Dowoon on the drums, literally one of the funnest things I've ever seen in my life, because he was having the time of his life, enjoying life, and just playing his heart out and having a great time. Like I said, when he gets towards the end of the set list, he's doing fan chants with us in his mic, living his best life, and it was the best thing. And Young K, I think my buddy said it best, who didn't really know Day6 going into the show, when we were talking afterwards the next day at lunch. And he was talking about, he's like, man, I really like Bob's voice for that raspiness. He's like, Wampil's got the highs taken care of. He's like, but that dude, Young K, he's like, that dude covers everything. He's incredible. And I was like, yeah, he's kind of a badass, And it's the truth, like Young K's voice, he's got all of it. He's got that low range, he's got that power, he's got the high range. He saw him rap because they did a couple of the old songs from the first album and stuff, but I don't really have much to say other than that. I'm gonna try to keep this short-ish. What is this? Oh fuck, I've been talking for 15 minutes already. It didn't feel that long, but yeah, I mean, my experience was this. It was amazing. It was a party atmosphere the whole time in the best possible way. But when it came time for quote-unquote serious songs, people were singing and just almost like letting go and just having a great time with Day6. And Day6 definitely, you could tell that they fed off the energy and enjoyed doing what they do as far as playing live. I think most groups enjoy playing live and stuff, but they truly enjoyed it. And Dowoon, like, I've said for forever, I don't have a bias in Day6 because they're all too talented and they all fit different pieces of what makes Day6 Day6. From a live standpoint, I couldn't take my eyes off of Dowoon and Bob's face. And it just worked great from where I was sitting, and I could always see Bob's face, who's right in the middle, and Dowoon behind him, because Bob had the funniest expressions. Sunjin's expressions were incredible. And as a guitar player, you make faces sometimes that you just don't know you're making. That's why it's all that much more better. And watching Dowoon, again, I can't say it enough. He was literally having the time of his life playing drums, and I truly, truly appreciated it and love to see it. But if you were there on either day, or if you went to New York and you got Sweet Chaos, let me know what you guys thought, or if you've been to any other shows. I know I have a lot of international My Days who might have been to the Korea concerts or in Southeast Asia and stuff already. Let me know what your experience was and how your time was in the comments below. But I will probably more than likely come back for Day6 when they come back with the video. Outside of that, we'll see you guys when we'll see you. Thanks for sticking around to the end. Cheers to you guys, and I'll see y'all in the next one.